You're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. We have a lot of updates, especially on Omicron. Let's get straight to it. India has reported its first death linked to Omicron COVID variant in Rajasthan, and this was confirmed by the Health Ministry today. Confirming the development, Love Agarwal, who is the Joint Secretary of Health Ministry, has said, and I quote, technically, it is Omicron related death. He was an elderly person. The person is reported to have comorbidities like diabetes, among others, end quote. According to PTI, the 73-year-old man who was found infected with Omicron in genome sequencing and who had tested negative for the infection twice died in Udaipur Hospital on the 31st of December. Other countries that have reported deaths related to Omicron are Israel, South Korea, UK, and Australia, among others. Meanwhile, India's Omicron tally has now gone up to 2,135. Maharashtra has continued to remain the state with the highest number of Omicron cases. It has about 653 cases as of now, out of which 259 have been discharged. Meanwhile, India has reported 58,097 cases and 534 deaths in the last 24 hours, which is 55% higher than what was reported yesterday. Now, the country has reported some 9,000 cases it had reported on the 28th of December. So the count has now gone up more than 6 times in just 8 days. Now, the country's active caseload has now also crossed the 2 lakh mark. The daily positivity rate has also increased to 4.18%, and the weekly positivity rate is at 2.60%. Now, Mumbai has witnessed the highest spike of cases in the entire country, recording 15,166 new COVID cases. As of today, yesterday it was just a little over 10,000 cases. Delhi has also recorded more than 10,000 COVID cases. It's at 10,665 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours, which is the highest since May 12th. According to the head of the COVID working group of National Technical Advisory Group of Immunization, Dr. N.K. Arora, India has said that India is already witnessing the third wave of the COVID pandemic. Meanwhile, Centre has revised home isolation rules as of Jan 5th. Now, these are the rules. Home isolation would end after at least 7 days have passed from testing positive and no fever for 3 successive days. 60 plus with comorbidities shall only be allowed home isolation after proper evaluation by the treating medical officer. Patients who are immunocompromised and suffering from HIV, cancer, etc., are not recommended for home isolation and shall only be allowed home isolation after proper evaluation by the treating medical officer. Now, it's also defined what mild and asymptomatic cases are, and I'm reading out from the guidelines. Clinically assigned mild cases are patients with upper respiratory tract symptoms with or without fever, without shortness of breath, and having oxygen saturation at room air at more than 93%. Now, asymptomatic cases are laboratory confirmed cases who are not experiencing any symptoms and have oxygen saturation at room air of more than 93%. Now, this is what's been given as far as the caregiver is concerned. A caregiver is someone who has completed his or her COVID vaccination schedule and should be available to provide care for 24/7 basis. A communication link between the caregiver and a medical officer is a prerequisite for the entire duration of home isolation. Now, it also lists out guidelines on when to seek medical attention. The guidelines say unresolved high-grade fever, difficulty in breathing, dip in oxygen saturation or respiratory rate, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, severe fatigue. All of these are reasons for anyone to seek medical attention according to the revised guidelines provided by the center. Meanwhile, several states have imposed fresh curbs. For instance, Tamil Nadu has hopped on the bandwagon after other states have imposed night curfew. It's imposed night curfew starting tomorrow from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's also imposed lockdown or a shutdown on Sundays. These are the other rules. People will not be allowed to enter worship places of worship on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No restaurants, malls, or shops will be allowed to open during night curfew. Essentials, however, are allowed during those hours. Restaurant takeaways will also be allowed from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., not after those hours. Weddings have a limit of 100 people. Funerals have a limit of 50 people. Manufacturing factories and IT companies have been allowed to function. Work from home has been encouraged. Pongal celebrations, whether it's public or private organizations, have been deferred as of now. Except medical colleges, all other colleges are currently shut. 50% occupancy allowed in buses, trains, and metros. The order also says that walking on beaches, however, is allowed. Meanwhile, Karnataka on Tuesday announced restrictions as well. There's weekend curfew in the state of Karnataka from 10 p.m. on Friday to 5 a.m. on Monday. Existing night curfew will also continue for 2 more weeks, and these restrictions are for 2 more weeks. On weekends, shops selling food, milk, and medicine, along with other essential items, will be allowed. Takeaway and home delivery will also be allowed. Theatre, malls, bars, and pubs will function at 50% capacity, and this is during the week. And only vaccinated people will be allowed. Not more than 200 people will be allowed in weddings in open spaces, and if it's closed spaces, then not more than 100 people. Travelers from Maharashtra, Goa, and Kerala will now have to carry a negative RT-PCR test if they're traveling to the state of Karnataka. Meanwhile, in Bihar, a night curfew will be enforced from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Preschools and classes 1 to 8 will also remain shut. However, online classes will continue. Educational institutions for classes 9 to 12 will function at 50% capacity. And these restrictions will come into effect from the 6th of January and will remain in effect till the 21st of January. Meanwhile, Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul has said that no mixing and matching of vaccines will be allowed while administering the 3rd dose of the vaccine. Now, he said, and I quote, precautionary COVID-19 vaccine dose will be the same as has been given previously. Those who have received Covaxin will receive Covaxin. Those who have received primary 2 doses of Covishield will receive Covishield, end quote. Meanwhile, and this is a report from the Indian Express, which has said that the home tests in Maharashtra are currently up, but there are concerns of unreported cases because there's no way to tell whether you're positive or not if you test yourself at home, which is a problem right now, according to this report, because there is a sharp surge in demand for at-home antigen testing kits in the state. And according to this report, officials believe that many positive cases are in fact being unreported, and that is a bit of a worry. According to Sujit Jain, who's the director of My Lab Discovery Solutions, the demand for Covi-Self, which is the self-testing kit, has surged by nearly 200% in the 3rd wave. Now, the Public Health Department has no mechanism, however, to record COVID-positive cases that are being tested at home. Also in the news, all international passengers coming to Mumbai from at-risk, high-risk countries and UAE have to go through rapid RT-PCR. Currently, 13 countries are listed in the at-risk category. At-risk countries include UK, South Africa, Brazil, Botswana, Ghana, China, among others. Also in the news, the Drugs Controller General of India's Subject Expert Committee has granted, and I quote, in principle approval to Bharat Biotech for the conduct of phase 3 superiority study and phase 3 booster dose study for its intranasal COVID vaccine. Moving on now, the Indian Council of Medical Research, or ICMR, has approved an India-made testing kit for detecting the Omicron variant of COVID. The kit is called OmiSure, and it's manufactured by Tata Medical and Diagnostics. Now, the kit is currently in use to detect Omicron COVID variant in India, and it's been developed by the US-based company Thermo Fisher. Let's now see what's happening across the globe as far as COVID is concerned. Hong Kong has imposed a ban on flights from India, US, UK, Canada, Australia, Pakistan, Philippines, and France after the Omicron COVID variant was detected. Passenger flights from these countries will be allowed to land in Hong Kong, and individuals who've stayed in these countries will not be allowed to board flights to Hong Kong, including transit flights. An update now in the Bulli Bai app case. An 18-year-old girl, Shweta Singh, has been alleged to be the mastermind behind this app. Now, she was arrested by a Mumbai police team from Rudrapur in Uttarakhand on Tuesday. If you remember, on Monday, a 21-year-old Vishal Kumar was arrested by Mumbai police and has been named as another accused in the case. The Bulli Bai case was registered on the 1st of January following complaints that doctored photographs and other details of at least 100 prominent Muslim women were uploaded for auction on the app hosted on the open source software platform GitHub. On to news coming in from Punjab right now. After Prime Minister Narendra Modi skipped a rally in Punjab, Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi, while addressing a press conference, interestingly said, and I quote, "The Prime Minister was not attacked. There was no threat to his life. It was just an agitation. There was a peaceful protest on the way. This is the wrong way to say that there was a security lapse. There should not be any politics in this. We have respect for our PM. The Punjab police is capable of providing security. All this happened because the PM's way of travel was changed at the last minute. Yet the Prime Minister's office was informed beforehand that agitators had assembled on the road. He decided to cancel his rally. His team took the decision on cancelling the rally. He could have used his chopper," end quote. In the meantime, the Ministry of Home Affairs has sought a report from the state government asking how the Prime Minister's cavalcade was stranded on a flyover for about 15 minutes due to a protest when his program had been duly communicated to the state police. And some sad news coming in from Pune now. Social worker Sindhutai Sapkal, fondly known as the mother of orphans, passed away at the age of 73. She passed away due to cardiac arrest at a hospital in Pune on Tuesday. Now, she was laid to rest with full state honors in Pune today. Let's now take a look at news coming in from across the world. The French government on Tuesday promised to step up the fight against femicide after 3 women were found dead in different parts of the country on New Year's Day in a span of 24 hours. Now, the women were allegedly killed by their partners. There have been severe protests by feminist campaigners as well. According to the French Prime Minister, he said, and I quote, "There were more than 100 femicides in 2021, and already since the start of the year, 3 new murders committed in scandalous conditions," end quote. Majority of them were killed by their current or former partners. And in another piece of news that's coming in from North Korea, South Korea and Japan's militaries have now said that North Korea fired a suspected ballistic missile into the sea off its east coast on Wednesday. Now, the launch comes days after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said that Pyongyang would continue to strengthen its defense capabilities. Japan's prime minister has said, and I quote, "It's regrettable that North Korea has repeatedly launched missiles since last year," end quote. And one piece of good news before we wrap up this bulletin. This is the PTI report that says that Indian origin British Sikh Army officer and physiotherapist Captain Harpreet Chandi has created history by becoming the first woman of color to complete a solo unsupported trek to the South Pole. Now, it was a 40-day trek with temperatures as low as minus 50 degrees Celsius and wind speeds of around 60 miles per hour. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching.